Do you feel that your life is not under your control anymore? Do you find yourself maybe scrolling through Instagram feeds to check if your lover is not liking someone else's photo? As these platforms have infiltrated our lives, is it worth asking, are we really in control or are they more controlling us more and more? Such things, among other problems such as miscommunications or anger issues, has brought this couple to divorce court. So today we're reacting to another episode of Judge Lynn Toler bringing realism to divorce court, and I'm curious to see if this couple will end up being together or separate forever.
Mr. Holloway, you say Ms. Mora runs all of your female friends off your social media.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Okay, I use my social media for business.
What's your business?
I have a studio, I have a recording studio, and I have a private barbershop. I keep it private, and then I get most of my clients from social media, friends and family, or just word of mouth. Now, for example, I've actually had Charity go on my page and write down different names and contact information from women off my page. I have over 3,000 people on my page.
Right.
So one time when I actually seen her do it, I'm like, what are you doing? So she tells me, I'm writing down these contact information and these names just in case. And I tell her, just in case of what? So she tells me, just in case I see you with one of these women or you connect with one of these women. So I haven't never been caught cheating. I don't cheat. I love Charity.
You've been together five years, correct?
Yes.
Right. Now, Ms. Mora, are you on his social media page writing down the names?
No.
The stalker girl is in divorce court today. Just imagine her being all like Yagami from Death Note. Oh, she's in a picture with my husband. She deserves to die by strangling. And or anything like that. But when asked if she ever felt any doubts toward her husband or anything like that, she says no. So make it make sense, girl.
Have any fears of him cheating? Has he ever done anything that caused you to
I trust him.
mistrust him?
No, I do trust him. He is trustworthy.
No,
I
I've
do
caught
trust
her actually writing down the names.
him.
And then I asked her, and she said, this is just in case.
Did that convince you that living in insecurity is killing a relationship from the inside? Then look at how her jumping to conclusions before actually discussing the problems worked out for her. Let's see.
We asked, she says, hey, on one picture. I don't respond because I'm not responding to hey. So another picture, she says, will you be there on Friday? So my response is, yes, I'll be here all day. So she gets on the page and says, I'll be there all day with him, and there's going to be a problem when I see you there. But not knowing that this is a woman that's bringing her child to come get a haircut.
I mean, she's not wrong to not trust the other women, but trust him. But if she does trust him, why become a social media bully? Why sabotage his relationships with other clients? This doesn't feel this feels sus.
Mora has gone so far as to bully people online so they wouldn't contact you anymore.
When have I done that?
Yes,
Well, we'll find out together. Come on, Mr. Holloway. Tell us all about
Yeah,
it.
so for example, somebody else actually just started liking my pictures. So if they like over 2 pictures, if it's just over 2 pictures, then she's on their page and she's talking about there's going to be problems with them, with that person and her. So one person actually got in contact with her back. So they go back and forth, and next thing you know, this is another potential client, and I'm losing all this money because of you.
What you doing on his page anyway?
Well, like I told you, he has me on his page for a lot of the networking. It's not like I'm just snooping through his page. If I'm going to get, a phone number for him or somebody's email address, that's why I'm on there. But he's also not mentioning the fact that I have a lot of males that I have to deal with in my line of work, and when he sees them on my social media page, he'll message them, or he'll just be, he'll give me this.
Hang on.
He'll give me the silent treatment all day until I find out what it's about.
What do you do for a living?
I actually just finished my internship for social work for the penitentiaries.
Well, what a turn of events. Seems more like an act of revenge, huh? My detective sensing are tingling, and it starts to seem that this man is also hiding something. Let's see, is this case going to be 10 Shades of Ratchet or not? I'm curious now.
I want to ask you specifically about the woman that he says you bullied.
I didn't bully that woman.
Well, what did you say to her?
I just asked who
She's
she
not a friend no more.
Hang on. Ms. Mora, tell me.
I simply messaged the woman and asked her what her relationship with him was.
Why did you do that?
Because of what she was commenting on his page. Ooh, you look good. Oh, you look sexy. This, this, this. So I just simply asked. So then from that message, it went back and forth, and then I just
Ms.
blocked
Moore,
her.
you need to grow up. I know you're a whole lot younger than he is. You're 23 and you're 37.
Yes.
And you kind of brought a little bit of this on yourself by getting
Yeah.
a little, not a little girl, but someone close to it.
Yes.
But Ms. Moore, you need to grow up. You either trust him or you don't trust him. People are going to hit on him. People are going to do whatever. And if you spend your time engaging everyone who might actually try to hit on him, you're going to spend a lot of time fighting with the public. And fighting with the public he's trying to get money from and causing dissension with him. You're pushing him away by engaging people for fear that they might someday try to talk to him. And if your game is right, he's gonna like coming home. You ain't got to worry what other people bring to the table. So just don't live in fear. You know, fear will kill you.
I totally agree with Judge Lynn on this one. When you get into a relationship, it comes with a certain degree of risks. And the funny thing is, the more you try to keep a chain of control over it, over your partner, the more you usually end up pushing him or her away because they will feel constrained. They will feel like their boundaries are being stepped on without their permission. And they will end up leaving you, which is the opposite of what you want to, obviously. And the thing is, everyone thinks they have some kind of reign over each other's reality or over each other's lives, when in reality your partner's life should be completed by your own life, not directed by yours. So it's not an obligation for your partner to support you, it's a choice. And if you don't let him make that choice, you'll push him or her away. But what's even more shocking now is that she seems to be the one that's been flirting with other people. Is she actually projecting, maybe?
Mr. Holloway, you say that she flirts while she's in your store or in her store, your store.
Yeah. No, that happened at a store. It's a store in our neighborhood.
Right.
And I guess the boss' son just started working there. So I go to the store, and when I go to the store, I get what I'm getting what I'm getting. And the first thing that he asked me is, "Who's that lady that be with you?" I wanted to give her my number. And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, that's my woman." And then he just smirks at me and starts laughing. So I'm like, "What does this mean?" So I go straight to Cherry. I'm like, "What are you saying to this man why you're in the store by yourself?" Because when we're in there, nobody's saying nothing to me. So she says it's nothing, and it leaves it as that. So I keep on trying to ask her, and she always, it's nothing. She has no
What's
response.
happening with the guy at the store?
Your Honor, I'm a smiley person. I smile at everybody I encounter. That's just my nature. Usually I can't have a conversation without breaking out and smiling. I'm not extra flirtatious or extra nice to the person. So
But people just take it that way.
They do
Yeah.
take it the wrong way. They misinterpret my friendliness, and that's all that is. I have never been unfaithful, and I don't have a wandering eye.
Well, it seems that she's not cheating after all, but both kind of have the same type of insecurities, which can either work like a magnet and bring them closer than ever because they understand each other, or it can actually pull them apart because they worry about the same thing, and the true bond of trust is hard to maintain that way because obviously in situations like this I would advise to try and communicate your expectations clearly, to try to communicate as much as possible, to communicate your feelings on a regular basis. Try not to act first and think second, because that is such a big problem today, especially with modern relationships. You first do things, then you think about it, and that's not okay. But if you feel as slight as a hint of manipulation when you open up to someone, it's better to run. Tell me in the comments if you felt like your feelings were being invalidated or manipulated, and if so, share us your experience. I think it will be useful for many of us to get inspired by your stories. Because the thing is, their partners, if they are master manipulators, they will use those feelings against you to chain you near them, and that's not okay. But that doesn't mean that you should not take the risk to love. You should always take a risk. You should always love to the fullest. I believe you should always try to make it work. But if you see that it is not going anywhere, if you see that um, you have the same insecurities, you have the same problems over and over again. It's better to just let them go and find a new partner that may understand you at some point.
He gets angry about things as opposed to discussing them. Why don't you give me a couple of examples of his inability to communicate and what he does instead?
Okay, well, maybe about 2 years ago, I got an acceptance letter in the mail to go to school out of state. So I called him. I was really excited, and it was the school my mom went to and stuff. So I was like, okay, I get to, make her proud too. So the school happened to be in Kansas City. So I call him and I'm like, hey, I got accepted, and he just started cussing me out, hung up on me, started sending me all types of text messages, just a whole bunch of craziness, so where I couldn't even enjoy the moment of being accepted and moving out of town. I wasn't trying to leave him. I just wanted to go finish up my degree.
Did you go?
I did go. I did go.
Good for you.
I did go, and I did. I came back in May because I finished, but that was that. But we had communication problems. Then in April, when was it? On Easter morning, I was sick, and I was out there in Kansas City by myself. And I thought I just had a stomach ache or something, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to church around 10, but let me go to the hospital because something didn't feel right. I get there, I'm thinking I'm about to be in and out. They're like, you have pancreatitis. So I was in the hospital for 7 days, the whole time in a foreign state, just by myself. So if I wasn't answering his phone calls, he'd text me or call, or if I wasn't in the mood to speak, or if I couldn't talk, he'd be like, why are you ignoring me? What are you doing? He had no empathy for me whatsoever in that time, and I was in a lot of pain.
What did you think she was doing laying in a hospital bed with pancreatitis?
Okay, first, let me tell you from the beginning.
All right.
Now, we was together one night and we had a real heated conversation. So the next night we come and we talk about how our relationship is going, and everything is good. Everything is good. We talk about future plans and stuff like that. And then within 2 days, she calls me at work and says, I'm moving to Kansas City. And I had no idea. She didn't tell me that she was even sent a letter out. She told me that she's going to school.
She hadn't told you she had applied or anything?
No. So then I'm like, okay, you're moving to Kansas City. She said, I got accepted in school. I'm like, she was already going to school.
That's kind of cold. You know that, right?
He knew. He knew.
I did not know.
I promise you, I told you. I really did.
That's not something you tell a significant other. That's a conversation. That's a full conversation. That's a sit down. This is what I want to do. This is how long I'm going to be gone. This is how I think it's going to affect the relationship. How do you feel about it? It's a conversation. It's not a mention. Okay?
As I predicted, they are having trouble with communication, but they really acted both cold towards each other. I mean, when your partner's down in the hospital, you do not kick them in the butt and tell them goodbye or anything like that, or just, I don't know, ignore them or anything like that. You're supportive. You would say, well, I'm here for you. We'll worry about things later between us when you're home, when you're safe, when you're secure, when you're healthy. Many people nowadays forget that the best part of a relationship is that you gain a friend for life. When you break up, in my opinion, if possible, the friendship should not end. I am saying she has no fault in here. Obviously, she should have had a full-on conversation, as Judge Lynn Toler said, about her expectations, about her life, about how she wanted to evolve. But again, her being 23 and him being 37, this kind of immaturity and disparity between their ages and their level of maturity comes with the choice of being together with a certain age difference, a certain age gap. So I don't know. Let's see what Judge Lynn Toler will say next about their relationship.
We clear on that? Tell me about the meal that you made he didn't like.
I made him some tilapia, macaroni and cheese, and greens. He said I didn't fry the fish. It wasn't crunchy enough. So he threw it away. And I'm like, well, okay, do you want me to make you something else? He was like, no, I'm not hungry. So I left and I went to go get something to eat. I asked him, would you like something from the store? He was like, no, I'm good, I'm good. So I come back and he's on the couch. I start eating and then he's like, where's mine? I'm like, you just told me you didn't want anything to eat.
Mr. Holloway, was there a major argument behind that, or was it?
Yes.
How
I
angry?
did do
Why
that.
was it a major argument?
I was working 12 hours, and I came home to, I mean, she usually cooks it in a certain way, and it wasn't that way. And I was very upset. I did have a couple drinks, and I got there,
An
and it was...
An imperfect meal gets made on occasion. I mean, come on now. It's ridiculous. She made the effort.
Yeah,
it wasn't
really
perfect. That's ridiculous.
I was really in the wrong, because I was...
Yeah, okay. All right. You ought to be glad you're not my husband. I don't care how bad the meal is. I tell him to choke it down and keep it moving.
Well, that was completely silly and hilarious from him, and kind of petty too. But he said sorry, so we should forgive him, right? But next, an incident on the highway might just be the reason why this relationship is on the verge of crumbling. Stay until the end to find out what this is about.
We were on the freeway. A lady cuts her off. So they have a honking rage going on first. So the lady flips her off. And then it was a wrap then. Then she's in the car cursing. I can just see her. I can see it escalating like a meter. She finds out how to get in front of the lady, stops the car, gets out, and continuously hits this lady in the face. So I get out the car, and I'm like, I'm trying to stop it, but it's kind of hard to, stop the whole confrontation.
Because
I have to directly get in the middle.
Right.
So the lady found a way to cut up out of there. Once I got in the middle, she gets in the car and smashes off. And then the argument stays with me in the car because I stopped it.
Ms. Mara?
He's leaving a major part out of that.
Okay, you tell me what he left out.
Okay, when I did cut her off, get back in front of her, she spat on my face.
She spat out of her window into your window?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe that.
Yes, ma'am.
Can that happen, Joe?
The driver's side is on this side. The driver's side is on this side. So I had to be in the middle. That means this lady had to spit through me to spit on her.
Yeah, that don't make any sense. That don't make any sense at all. That doesn't happen.
That's what happened.
That doesn't make sense. Why did you cut her off?
Because I was angry, and that was my
Isn't
bad.
that silly?
That was.
Do you know people die from that nonsense? Somebody could have had a kid in the car, and you so busy trying to, because you've been enraged, you cut somebody off. The lady behind her might have had a kid in the car. She wasn't paying enough attention. Bam! You got a dead 3-year-old on your conscience for the rest of your life.
I was in the wrong for that. That was.
And you're in the wrong whenever you are in road rage. Is it a habit with you?
No.
Yes.
No, it's
we've
not.
even been pulled over by the police.
That's not
What
true.
happened?
Because another cutoff. So then now she's chasing the car. So the highway patrol gets behind us, and they see exactly what's going on. So we pull over, the highway patrol man comes to us and like, what's going on? She's like, nothing. It was the man in front of us. So I'm like, I calmed the situation down. I told her it was a little bit of road rage, and this happens to us kind of often. So he talked to us and gave us a warning. But then again, right when the highway patrol leaves, the argument stays in the car with me.
Are you so enraged by somebody else's bad driving that you have to continue to express your anger even when that person is no longer there to receive it?
Your Honor, this is not a continuous thing. It's not something that happens every day.
Did that happen?
That did not happen.
Yeah.
So the highway patrol didn't pull you over?
No.
You made that up out of whole cloth?
Not for a road rage. I had a tail light out. My back left was out.
Plus.
That was
That's what he said. That was the reason. But he's seen us. I know he's seen us because he talked about it.
Were you engaged in a process of combative driving when he stopped you for the tail light? Come on, be truthful.
I'm being very honest, no.
So it's just that one road rage incident, it never happened
I mean, there's
before.
been other incidents, don't get me wrong.
And that was one of them.
But it's not like an everyday when I'm on the way to work. Or
How often do you get into a road rage
maybe
incident?
like twice a week.
Oh, I have a headache. Girl, you need to take some anger management classes. You're just 23 years old, and to have that much anger built up inside you, for whatever reasons, you just need therapy at this point. Worst part is she could end up with someone dead on the highway because of her anger. She has to be stopped. I don't think Judge Lynn Toler should let them be a couple anymore. I think she should be sent to therapy first before ending in a relationship in general, because who knows what she's gonna do, and she's gonna grow up a little more and be angry. She might even kill her husband. Well, things like this happen. It's not so far from reality. Judge Lynn Toler will get this woman back on her feet and running in no time. Come on, Judge Toler, let's hear it. I believe in you.
About this particular thing. When you have a case of road rage, it's always your fault because it's your decision to make your anger an accident waiting to happen. And if the entire world can take over your day by cutting you off, then the entire world owns you. The size of your mind and your life and your heart and your spirit can often be determined by the size of the things that bother you.
Right.
So if such small things bother you, you need to look in the mirror and in your own heart and yourself and say, what's wrong with me? Because there's something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe that you bully people on the internet. I believe that there is a fear and an insecurity in you that appears as anger and bravado. And I think that your failure to understand what that is, see it for what it is, and deal with it for what it is going to haunt you for the rest of your life until you decide to make it right. You with me?
Yes.
You
I
with me?
understand what you're saying.
You want $1,000 from this man to move.
Yes.
Out of his house. You tell me why I should give you $1,000.
I would like $1,000 so that I can move out some of my belongings, because we share furniture. Some of it was purchased by me, some was purchased by him. The couches I bought, the bed is his. I want that, and I need to be able to move, get the U-Haul, and even I have the money to put a deposit for the apartment. I just need the rent, which is equal, which is $1,015. So I have to do that plus that again for front, first, and last.
Okay. Mr. Holloway, do you deny the fact that the two of you invested in furniture together?
She can have the furniture.
She can have the furniture.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. If she wants the furniture, she can have the furniture. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hold on to it, but there's no reason for me to pay for her living expense leaving out.
He's right about that, and let me tell you why. Y'all weren't married. And I know that people end up in court fighting over items that they shared and bought because they acted like they were married. They were shacking up and they were buying things together. And you're going to have the same difficulty separating your assets as you do when you're married. But when you are married, we have a whole process and procedure set up for that. There was promises made and obligations to be formed, and you cannot get the benefit of those promises and obligations if you did not make them. So what I will do is give an order that says, Ms. Mora, you can have the bedroom set and the living room set mutually owned by both parties, and you are to retrieve those items within 15 days. It is so ordered.